welcome to the Loud Monkey Music Show, Javon Kurt. How are you?
Great, Sean. Thanks for having me, man.
Well, I'm glad you can be on. I've been a fan of you for quite a while, and it works out well. You got an album to promote. You're doing the rounds, and it's good timing. You got your solo album out, and the new Riley's Guns album is out too. So you got a
Keeping
lot.
very busy.
So with this influx of music, and as a writer, I mean, I think my first question is, you probably are still writing, right? Or do you have you actually? I think every writer's different. Some people just like take a break and they're like, I don't touch my instrument. Some people are like, it's obsession and like, gotta get the demon out. Like, where are you?
It definitely, I feel like I'm an artist, so I always have to be making, creating.
Okay. Yeah.
So, sometimes you go, you don't do it for a while, you take a break, and then you get that itch, you get the artist bug where you're like, I have to create something. Because I play, I play full time as a musician, so I play a lot of cover tunes. I play what I like, which is awesome.
Right.
But I always have to create, and I've already worked. I'm already started on a new record already. That so
That's always bananas. By the time I'm talking to an artist, they're always like, yeah, I'll have to have my next album. I'm like, you just got this one out. Take a breath,
yes,
slow
I
your roll,
know. It's kind of like if
appreciate
you
the
got
moment.
momentum and you get inspiration, it's just you just go. And then, a lot of the times if the ball's
I
rolling
get
and
it.
it like you aren't hitting any roadblocks and you just kind of keep going with the momentum. That's how I am anyway.
I'm working on 18 different projects right now, and this isn't even my career. So, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just harassing. I mean, heck, I was just saying earlier, I'll even do lyric videos. I do one for you guys. I actually did two lyric videos for you guys. Um,
Yes.
back early on before the album came out, which was a weird release for the Dark Horse because it was like was the longest pre-releases for singles I think than any
Yeah.
album prior. I mean, maybe yeah, I can't think of any. Even Guns N' Roses didn't have any releases before the album came out.
Even Chinese
You guys had some
democracy was
releases.
like,
Yeah, yeah, but at least but you
yeah,
guys had some releases between it, so it was like the time between it I mean, in the long run, it's worth it. And
yeah. I know you
I
spoke to Kelly about it, so
yeah, and prior to that, it's really neat. Is I also before Steve's passing, I spoke to him, and we were gonna. I said when got close to the date they were released. Obviously, it was like 3 weeks before he passed. I emailed him. He's like, yeah, we'll get something together. Try to get everybody together and do something special to promote this album. Because that's why I did the rewind. We were talking, and I can tell you though, when I interviewed him and I had Steve on also, he he talked about the standout track, the your special solo song. He loved it.
oh yeah.
You know,
When he heard that, he was like, "We
it's a great
have to put
song
this on the
too, but
album." Yes, Sweet
the
Summer
energy
Girl.
he had in just talking to him, he's like, he goes, song, he goes, Kurt's song, he goes, yeah. And he goes, he has to put it on there. He goes, it's great. And he was just such a cheerleader for everybody, you
Yeah,
know, and it was just fantastic. I just had to mention, I'm sure you've heard a million stories, but for something like that, I don't think you can hear enough positive stories, you know. He was just such a cheerleader for you and for the band,
that's
um,
cool.
last time we spoke. Yeah, it was cool. So let's talk about your solo album first, though.
Sure.
I'll go and actually one more thing. So your day job, Kelly was telling me you have a cool day job where you're playing rock and roll.
Yes,
Could you tell me a little more about that?
I've,
That sounds awesome.
I've always been in working bands, cover bands or, you know, touring, corporate bands. I'm a full-time musician, and as people
Yeah,
know, you can't make money off your original music. It just doesn't happen anymore unless you're
right.
the one percentile of the top of, of the music industry,
Yeah,
which, guys at my age aren't like breaking the top 40 with on the pop charts. So, yeah, we got a call from Disney. I have a British rock band called the Hooligans, and we play everything from Black Sabbath to Oasis and Blur to, to Beatles, obviously Beatles, Stones, Zeppelin, The Who, all that good stuff. Disney contacted us and says we at Epcot we have a British pavilion. Would you guys be interested in being the house band there? And we said, possibly. What does it entail? And we went through all the details. And at the end of the day, we signed a year and we're on our third year now. So, and we play five,
congratulations.
5 days a week there. And we play what we want. We do like T-Rex and stuff that I love. And
Really?
and people at Disney there's the British pub by our stage, so people grab beers and come in, and it's like it's a rock concert. And it's very refreshing for a lot of adults, especially where they're like, okay, we've had enough of It's a Small World for the day. Let's go listen
Yeah.
to some Ozzy Osbourne and
Well,
drink some beers.
well, that's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, I have no desire. I'm not slagging Disney World people. Just not my gig. It's
Yeah,
not me. It gets me angsty because it's not my thing.
a
But
lot
to
of
that same
people, a
point,
lot of lineups, a lot. I get it.
right? But to that point, if I were my kids, I would do something for my kids when if they're younger. If I was a parent, I would love to be like, "This is awesome. This
Yeah,
makes it worth it." And you also should be the 8 days a week joke if you're in a British band and you're working there. But
yeah.
it'll slide, yeah.
What's cool
So
too is
that's it.
all these kids get
Yeah.
to see us play, and we have people come back. They'll go, "This kid started playing guitar because he saw you guys, and he learned, he learned Crazy Train, and he just
Oh,
loves you
that's
guys."
right. Because you're doing hard rock, heavy metal, whatever it is, show in the day that kids would get to see that. Oh, our age,
Yes.
I'm 53. We're probably all very close, similar in age,
Yeah.
where we would have gotten to see that at our age. You
Yeah.
know,
They don't,
oh,
we're like dinosaurs. Some people are like, these guys are playing electric guitars, but it's not a DJ. It's not like canned music. And
I know.
so a lot of these kids, we've made drummers out of kids. They show up, like our drummer will give them drumsticks at the end of the show. And he's like, yeah, he started taking drum lessons. I'm like, that's pretty awesome that they're being turned on to music like Led Zeppelin and, The Who and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Kurt
And,
Frolich, the ambassador for rock. Get you a little jacket and it's an award and stuff. So wow. So when did you record? So you did evenings? Because I imagine this album's probably was recorded over the past year, and then I
it
know Dark Horse
started
is
out of
recorded like in a 2 week window. So when are you writing solo? You know what I'm saying? Like it's all together. It's hard to separate this.
it started out of COVID. At the end of COVID, I started, I was like, I started just writing. I played with Marky Ramone for a while. I played guitar with Marky for a few shows, and I learned a lot from him. And learning all that catalog of the Ramones material really got me back into, I grew up with it, so I love the Ramones, but it got me back into my punk rock roots. So then I started writing all these Ramones S type stuff and Sex Pistols, Dead Boys type vibe, and I realized like, man, this is a huge part of who I am as a musician and a person. And uh, so I just started writing and recording. And so I did everything myself in my little home studio
Well,
here.
it was a surprise, a pleasant surprise, but it was a surprise because hearing the two Riley's Guns albums with you guys writing together, collaborative, didn't know what to expect. But being a singer and a guitar player, I figured I had an idea. So I was not expecting such a like a punk, and it's got pop, you know, a very pop sound to it too. It could be radio friendly, or it could be, I think, really be great on some soundtracks. A lot of good rock stuff would be good on like soundtracks.
Hmm.
You know, decent audience, decent paycheck, high energy, well produced video behind it. You know, get your video right with it. And I think your songs on there that would just be great and some out there.
I totally
Because
agree.
it's a fun album. And it's very it's punk, but it's not like punk where anything would be off key or sloppy or anything. It's
Yeah. It's
it's
just
good,
it's very street. And I think the LA Guns first record that, Steve and Kelly, Steve didn't play, he played on one track, I think, but it's pretty street
Did
rock.
did he? Yeah.
So Kelly's influences are Sex Pistols are a big influence to him. So
Oh yeah.
songs like Renegades and The Dark Horse, those are just straight ahead kind of punk rock kind of vibe songs that, and he brought those to the table and we collaborated on everything. But yeah, Kelly comes from the same school as me, I think.
You singing with him actually reminds me more of the singer before Phil. That there are stuff out now for Paul when he sang. It was more of a, I don't know, a darker, gothier vibe. I don't can't explain. It fits you sing it. It all fits. It sounds really good. I've actually I have two for myself. I got two videos out of you guys. The last show and your Mohican show are both
Hmm.
up on my page. I videoed them both because I loved them. I mean, just the sound is so, it's like dark, but it's pop. But it has like an underbelly of pop sensibility.
I'm a
I
big
can't
Beatles
explain
fan
what it
too.
is.
I love harmonies. I love,
Okay.
I love we all agree. Songs got to have hooks. They got to have catchy stuff that people can sing to, including guitar solos, that people can, relate
Yeah,
to.
sometimes the catchy hooks are different melodies with you guys. It's like it'll be like a riff. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. Like it'll be like a
Yeah.
little riff or a little hook. Each song is not like verse, chorus, verse. Like every song is different, like that. Which is very interesting. As a fan of music, to listen to an album, go, you get something different each time.
Yeah. I
Uh,
come from the school of like, there's got to be a vocal hook. There's got to be a guitar hook. There's got to be a percussion hook. That's kind of how I approach writing music. Keep the listener interested.
Now, are you playing? Obviously, you record everything on your album, your solo album. It looks like you got a show coming up. I just like
Y-
post for a show.
Yes,
Let's let's promote that too. Let's talk
I
about
just
that.
got the posters. Is there one back there? I stuck one to
Yeah,
my Marshall road case back there. Yeah, it's
very cool.
August 15th. It's going to be a really fun show. It's going to be like a night of punk rock and roll. So I invited some of my friends. We got Sick Dogs, who are a great local band. They just opened for Ace Frehley here at the Hard Rock.
Okay.
They're like a street punk rock band. And then Van Gogh, they're like a Cheap Trick 70s type great band from Michigan. They're flying down to do the show. And then
Whoa.
Scotty Griffin's going to come up, uh, obviously
Man,
from
he
Riley's
rips on
LA
guitar. Can I
Guns.
just take a minute and say he just is such a guitar player no one talks about. He is so good.
Yeah.
God,
He's
he
he's a hard
rips.
worker, man. Yeah. Listen,
God.
the solos on the new album, he just stepped it
Oh,
up, man, and he worked his ass off, you know. And so
he is
he's gonna
so
come
good.
up. Yeah, he's gonna come up and we're gonna blast out some Riley's LA Guns tunes. So it's gonna
That's
be
awesome.
just a really fun night. We don't get to play, we don't have any Riley's LA Guns shows on the horizon. So we're like, well, I'm doing my solo album. The hard copy will be
Hmm.
available at that show. And you can get tickets at Conduit. It's at the Conduit in Winter Park, Orlando area. So conduitfl.com, you can get tickets. But so we're gonna the hard copy of my album will be available then. It's already out digitally. It's called
Are you gonna
1977.
sign? Are you gonna sign it? Unlike Bon Jovi, you're gonna be the one that signs all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you can get the CD there. But the cool thing, what coincidentally happened is on the 16th, all the Riley's LA Guns hard copy stuff, the vinyl, the CDs, all that's going to
Yeah,
be available too. So it's kind of like, let's celebrate both. Let's do some, I invited Scott. He's like, hell yeah, I'll come and play our material. Let's
that's
do it. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's going to be really fun.
and then they got the what's it? I don't have the date in front of me. The Battle of Jane's gonna be released too. The version around
Yes,
that time too, right?
yes,
That's
that's coming out. I don't have the exact date in front of me, but yeah,
yeah, it's around that time too, isn't it? It's around that time too, I think, somewhere or
yeah,
soon.
go to our website, go to
Yeah,
rileyslguns.com. It'll have the info on that. But yeah, they said we want to do an acoustic version of this. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's make it a little different. Let's make it, it's obviously has the essence of what
right.
LA Guns' biggest hit was. But, you know, Scotty put a capo up and he's a real musician. He can be like, okay, my capo's here, so this will be this chord. And it's like it gave it a kind of a different voicing. I was like, dude, leave the capo on. That sounds really cool. So, it's all acoustic. It's just the two I think there's two acoustic. So I played acoustic on it and Scotty plays acoustic on it. And it turned out really cool. So they're releasing it as a bonus
I'm
track. So
excited. I'm excited to hear. I mean, I've seen you at least two times as with Riley, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys. You'll end up in the New England area at some point again. I can see you either solo or with other bands. Um, so that is one of the questions out there, and I think you probably don't have the answer like Kelly doesn't. Like, what's the future of you playing with those guys again? You know,
we
in the
I never say
maybe
never, like Kelly says, never say never. And if stuff comes up we have the blessing from Steve's family and
I'm trying to
that
manifest this. I think I'm going to do. I want to see you guys go on. I think
put
the
it out in the
songwriting
world,
talent
man. Put it out
of you
there.
guys together. That's what I'm doing. I think I want people put it out there, put out the request for these guys because I think. I mean, yeah, I do agree. I think Steve would be totally. He's the biggest cheerleader for you guys, and I think there's a reason you guys all got together. And the energy, and you've been in enough bands to know that you don't always get along with people, or there's not a certain magic or whatever. the two albums you guys have created are just so different. So, that's something you don't always get with other musicians.
Yeah. And
So
we
it's
have
it's
two
always good for you to
albums of
embrace
our
it,
own material. We want to go out and play these albums.
Right.
Like we got a brand new
That's
album
what I'm
out.
saying. I mean,
Let's go out and play some of these songs. We're not trying to be a
it would be
nostalgia
a
act
crime
where
to
we
almost
just
not.
play those guys' material. Obviously they
Mhm.
have huge hits. People want to hear them. We play the hits, but we want to play some of our material too.
Which I enjoyed actually when I first. I don't know if I even heard the whole. I mean, I heard the album when I first saw you the first time, and then I was like, I really enjoyed it as much as I feel like the show should have been longer with more of your original stuff there. I think because I did enjoy the other stuff too, because obviously, but I was really just enjoying hearing the original stuff live because you
That's
don't
cool.
usually hear it. And,
People want to hear new material.
and not only that, actually, not only you guys are doing new material, you even did a newer song off the album. Yeah, was it somebody saved me or something? You did that before you save it now. You guys were playing that at the Mohegan the first time, I think, in a set.
Yeah, Mohegan when we played in the Wolf's Den, we did
Yeah,
Somebody Save Me. We worked it up at Soundcheck. We played
yeah,
it through Soundcheck once because we don't rehearse. We live in all different cities. So like, okay, what do you want to do for Soundcheck? Well, let's do Somebody Save Me since we've never played it together. Did it once at Soundcheck. We did it at the show. And it's
that's
a
it.
very cool. Yeah, Scotty brought that one to the table, and it's a
That was cool.
slow hard rocker. Yeah.
That is a good creeping like a creeper of a song. Yeah, I'd love to see you guys tour again, at least work together. You guys can't let it just dissolve at some point. You've got to do something. I mean, all you guys got to keep it together. Something. How's it
Well,
work
if
for touring
fans want
them?
to hear it, make some noise about it. We, I don't think anything's, we don't do like club gigs and stuff like that. We don't do the smaller gigs. So that's part of the reason why we're not out there doing a lot of shows. So, we wait for gigs that are worth, that we can all fly out
Yeah.
to and make it all financially make sense. So,
Well, that's an important thing too. I mean, I don't think people realize that. I mean, plus you do have you work for Disney, you have a good day job. You got a good job. I'm sure you get benefits. You got like you do rock and roll and have like a real good job, probably benefits to take care of your family. That's pretty awesome. You don't
yeah.
want to shave
And
that tree.
yeah, and that
Yeah.
show is casted. So anytime we get I do like three or four different bands. Anytime we get, uh, another offer. We just did for ESPN just a few days ago. We did 3 days for the Warrior Games. It's a big uh, the Army and the Navy and all the military, and they do like it's like an Olympic Games. We just did the opening show for that, and we played, and then we sub out our show at Disney, and we did that for Disney owns ESPN, so we did it for ESPN. It was like
Right.
so,
That is so
we
funny.
do a lot of different stuff, and it's
It's so
never dull.
funny the bringing in rock and roll to Disney and the Army, like long hair and everything you're growing up thinking of,
Yeah.
totally opposite. And then they're hiring you for this or hiring you for that. Like it's
Yep.
catching up finally. Um,
It's people
so how would you
want
tour?
live music. It's something special to have a live band playing live music. Like people were walking, like the CEO of Disney comes on and we played 20th Century Boy was her walk on, or whoever the
Oh
person was.
wow,
And so she's walking out and she's like, so we did like the walk-ons and stuff for people being announced. And that was, I'm like, it's pretty cool.
that's fun.
We're bringing T-Rex back to the mainstream.
That is pretty cool. That is crazy. Are you going to be able to do, even if it's not with Riley's at this moment, solo stuff? Are you going to try to do more solo shows at least during with your album?
Yeah, with all my stuff going on, I'm gonna ask our agent. We're gonna send out some press kits to places I like to do, and really like opening slots for bands that I love, and just
Yeah.
look around and see who's playing. And yeah, I'd love to get out and do some shows. Since my band, we're going to rehearsals in a couple weeks here, have the show up and running, and it's just a matter of we're not guys that sit and rehearse once or twice a week. We get the show up and running, we get out and play. That's how I've always been.
But you also play a lot though. It's not like you're not a
Yes.
weekend warrior. So you're so
Yeah.
seasoned, it's kind of your job where
Yeah.
it's
I'm
tight.
usually 6 days on and get one day off, 6 days on, have a day off. That's why I'm
How
hoarse
do you
all the
take care of your
time.
voice?
Vocal
Gotta-
lessons. I've taken vocal lessons. Last time we played with Quiet Riot, I talked with Jizzy Pearl, and he's really smart about his voice. And I've taken vocal lessons from opera singers, from uh, rock singers,
Mhm.
and just so I pick people's brain and you learn different stuff from different people. And Jizzy had some points to me. I was like, wow, like nobody's ever approached him because he's singing Quiet Riot stuff. And
These
he's no,
things sound stronger now than they did
yes,
before.
because he's smart and he's disciplined. And that's what it takes. If you check out his
Yeah,
YouTube page, it's really cool. And that's what, you have to be smart. You have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just going to blow your voice out. And it's like,
yeah.
that's a lot of what it is. We're not in our 20s doing this stuff where your body can recover you know, from blowing your voice out or whatever. So you got to be careful and you got to be disciplined and get enough sleep and just be smart.
Man, because yeah, your voice is so good, and anytime I've heard it, it's always very strong. So I mean, and you have to you can't have a bad vocal day for you when you're like performing for Disney now.
Being
Because
a singer
every
is
time,
stressful, yeah. It's not like
yeah,
playing
every time,
guitar. You could pick up the guitar and just like I can play if I got food poisoning, I can play guitar.
right?
It's whereas like singing is, it's your body is your instrument. So it's like, yeah. And a lot of it is too. I find singing regularly. I sing 5, 6 days a week. And when I take a week off, and I just had a week off, we went to the beach and I come back and then I feel like, man, it's like going to the gym. Your
Yeah.
muscle builds up and then it's just used to it. So when I came back, even when I come back from like 7, 8 days off, I'm like, okay, I got to get back in it. And the first day is a little tough, but yeah,
Well, and the other thing is, I can imagine the pressures if someone's coming for the Disney show. I mean, it's like their first time seeing you and their last time, so their impression is one show. Oh, that band sucked. That band was good. The singer was hoarse. Like it's one time, and it's a hard crowd. Do you know what I mean? To entertain.
imagine how it is with
Yeah.
Riley's LA Guns when it's like, okay, I've had one day off in the last 10 days and we got a Riley's LA Guns show. I can't, first song, I can't suck. All these fucking cameras pointing at you and everyone's full of
And I'm one of them.
criticism and it's like you got to be good, you got to be on, man. No excuses. Even you don't, even if you're sick, you don't say it on stage. You don't people, sorry
No.
guys, I'm sick. And it's like, nobody gives a shit. Who cares? Just got to do your thing.
The Riley's concept got a lot of support. So it's funny. Like you would think it would be a little more animosity, all the separation to all the different bands over the years. I mean, obviously saying faster and all the split up versions of bands coming out of the gate. Rise has had a good bunch of support from the fan base, you know, and and very little negative stuff. You know what I mean? Of course, there's a few people that have had it, but that's always could be everywhere.
Oh
You know,
yeah. We just don't
but
we
I
don't
mean,
take the bait of negative energy. We don't take the bait. We take the high road. And I think 95% of people appreciate that. We've been doing this a long time. We don't give a shit about drama and just let the music do the talking. That's it. That's how we see.
I think it helped though, and it's risen to the top. But I would say if I thought when I recorded your other shows, those two shows, if I thought they were bad, I wouldn't have posted them. I'd only keep it a positive light for you guys or for any bands because I would never be like, "Oh, this sucks. Look at this, how bad the band is." I would
They're
never do
all
that to a
out there
band.
somewhere, all the shows.
Someone will do it, but that's not me. I'm the guy who says, "Look how good this is. Go down to see them." It's a
Thank you.
positive tool. You're welcome. So, you know, I'd love to see you play live, and hopefully, you guys will make it back to the area again, whether it's Mohegan or something again. I know you have a fan base
I'm
there now.
I think something will come up. I think.
I hope so. I hope so, and I hope you'll be able to do both. And 2 albums with the stuff. If you can't play those 2 albums, it'd be such a crime, man. Just thinking about
Yeah.
that.
I
Are
think
you guys going to
Steve
do any
would
more
think the same
singles?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Are any more singles going to come out after this? After
All I know is
Jane?
the Jane single is going to come out, the acoustic version. That's coming out soon. So and I can't wait for people to get the vinyl in their hand. I can't wait for me to get the vinyl and spin it at my house here. So yeah, we're excited to have hard copies coming out because, people like us, you like having it in your hand, having it in your
Right.
collection. A lot of people are like that.
Well, and having vinyl, especially being an artist, I can imagine it's one of the coolest things to have yourself as a record, growing up as a kid, having vinyl records, and then having them go away, and you're like, oh, I only make the CDs. Like I could imagine the artist first started doing that. So now to be able to have it like on vinyl, I'm like, I don't even care if anybody buys it. We got to press it. So I have my own vinyl myself.
Some people even ask if we
Yeah,
have cassettes coming out. I'm like, wow, we haven't stopped, we haven't crossed that yet, but
it's kind
I
of
don't think
obnoxious.
It's so I've seen it lately. Sometimes with cassette. I'm like, I don't think cassettes need
I
to
think
make a
the yeah,
resurgence.
no, no. If I never have to rewind one of those with a pencil again, I'll be fine.
There
You
you
know,
go.
there's the stress. Kurt, I want to thank you for being on the show. It's been great. I mean, do you want to refer anybody to your socials? Anything in particular they can follow you for updates?
Yeah, I think everything I do is on my website, my new website, kurtfrolich.net. That's KURT. My last name is strange, FROHLICH.net. And it has all the shows I do with all the bands I do. It has all the links to Riley's LA Guns stuff. It
Hmm.
has all the links to my uh, solo album and stuff. So, and in the merchandise page, you can get a lot of different cool stuff. So check it out.
And people that follow the show, obviously, just like the Kelly show and all, I'll put all the links underneath the show for the podcast and for the YouTube show, so people
Great.
can go click on it right up first from the show and
Awesome.
support you. But thanks, man, and looking forward to do this again down the road. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. I
Very
appreciate you,
cool.
man.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right.